Okay, so now we're talking about card of the week.
Yay!
Card of the week. Card of the week. Card of the week. All right, cool. All right, Jim.
Were you just singing Out of the Box?
Is that what it was?
That's what that was.
That is what it was.
Yeah,
yep. I don't know why I have that theme stuck in my head.
I used to love that show.
It's weird. All right, so this week's card of the week, we're doing our first Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Woo.
First Yu-Gi-Oh card. So I'm just gonna talk and then I'm gonna get out of the way because I know literally zero things.
You could ask questions.
I'll ask some questions. I know zero things about this. So today's card of the week number 4 is Pot of Greed.
Dan, do you know what Pot of Greed does? It allows you to draw 2 cards.
When I saw the card, I'm like, wait, that's it? That's all this card does?
That's all it does. Dan's like, why are we picking this card? Because it's like the most broken card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh ever created.
Which is crazy to me.
It's also not true, but it's an amazing card.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, all it does is draw 2 cards.
Literally, my first reaction when I looked it up, I pull it up, and it just says on it, draw 2 cards. I'm like, wait, that's it? Really?
That's it?
I was expecting like an entire text box
Nope.
full of stuff. Nope. Just draw 2 cards. Now, I do know drawing cards is the most powerful thing you can do inside card games, is draw cards. So I know that. So drawing 2 cards is doubly better than drawing 1 card, right? So, I mean, drawing 2 cards, normally in Magic, it's like you pay 4 to draw 2 cards. So if you're paying 4 to draw 2, like that's kind of the resource I'm looking at. So I also know that in Yu-Gi-Oh, playing a card is essentially free. There's really no resource you have to pay.
Yeah, if there is a cost, it would be like discard another card, or it would say pay life, or it would say like get rid of something on the board, pretty much.
Okay.
That's pretty much the cost. It's not like, oh, I have to tap 4 mana in order to draw 2 cards.
Right.
So for Pot of Greed, the last format you could play this card legally inside of Yu-Gi-Oh was GOAT format, which was all the way back in 2005. This card got banned in October of 2005. And before that, it was actually only played as a 1. You could only play 1 copy of it in the entire deck.
And how big are Yu-Gi-Oh decks again?
40 cards.
Oh, so 40 cards.
40 to 60.
Okay.
40 to 60. And so...
so there's a max.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They introduced a max later on. It used to be like not really a max, but then
Okay.
So really what this card does is makes your deck 37 cards instantly.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if there was any possible chance you were able to play 3, we're talking 31 cards in the deck.
So that's a quarter of your deck essentially.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So just from this 1 card, you're cutting off like a lot of percentage of deck thinning for your deck. And so later on, this card has been banned since October 2005. Okay.
Like straight up banned, right?
It's just banned.
Wow.
In all competitive play. And so the only way you can actually play this now is they just recently came out with a new format called Time Wizard format.
Okay.
It's named after another one of their cards called Time Wizard.
Okay.
And what it does is the people who are hosting the tournament for this format, they can set a specific ban list. So if they ever make it to where it's October 2005, you are now able, or slightly before then, so August 2005 or September, you are now able to play Pot of Greed at 1. And that's the only time legally in competitive play.
Oh, so for the Time Wizard format, they can set a date and say, we're looking at the ban list from this specific date.
Yep.
Understood.
Yep.
That makes sense. Okay.
Exactly. So with GOAT format has been a thing for a few years now.
Yeah.
Probably like 5, 6, 7 years. And so people still play this card inside of that format. And now they came out with Time Wizard. People are a lot more excited about that format as well.
Yeah.
But the thing about Pot of Greed is, sure, it's only a +1, right? Because it replaces itself and then gives you a whole nother card on top of it. But it gives you cards you normally weren't going to be able to find as well.
That turn.
Yeah. So in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a lot of draw cards, but they kind of don't really work together necessarily.
Okay.
Pot of Greed is the only one that really works with all of them because there's nothing else you got to worry about. So Pot of Duality made it to where you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and take one, but you can't special summon at all that entire turn. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, that is huge.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's other ones, Pot of Desires. You exile the top 10 cards of your deck. So instantly, 25% of your deck is face down exile. You can't interact with them at all. And then draw 2 cards. So, and people were playing that at 3.
That's crazy.
There's another recent one. I forget the name exactly. But so your extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh consists of very strong cards, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, those are the cards you bring out in order to win the game. You have 15 max, and they all tend to be very good. A new card, you can get rid of 3 or 6 of them randomly from your extra deck, random. And then if you got rid of 3 or 6, you draw 1 card for 3, 2 cards for 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're throwing a heavy cost on drawing cards in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But then we can also say that Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot of value cards as well, rather than just drawing cards like you want to do in Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh's like, I play this 1 card. It allows me to now special summon any specific one from the deck. So it could be like, I played a Shadal monster. It now allows me to special summon another Shadal. When these now go to the graveyard, they now get their effect to allow me to special summon another one from the graveyard. I can now special summon from the extra deck with those 2 cards that I just put into the graveyard to also get their effects to now give me another card effect. So it's not so much like cards in hand advantage, but cards overall out on the field, also in the graveyard, because graveyards really matter along with in the hand. So Pot of Greed is one of the very few cards like itself.
Yeah.
And it's broken. It's never coming off the ban list. And you guys out there keep dreaming, but yeah, it's not coming off the ban list.
I don't know very much anything about Yu-Gi-Oh. But so, like I said, when I first saw that, I'm like, really?
Yeah. Dan's thing was like, that's all it does? I'm like, yep, she's a beauty, isn't she?
I'm like,
what?
I guess, yeah.
What's the
card looks cool, though.
Yeah. The alpha card in Magic that's 1 mana, draw 3.
Brainstorm? No, not Brainstorm.
No. It's just 1 mana, draw 3 cards. I forget the name of it, but that card is at 1 inside of not Legacy, Vintage. It's at 1 in Vintage. It's banned in every other format pretty much. And
I'm looking it up to see.
And
if I
that
can
instantly has a cost, right? So when we're starting to talk
Ancestral
about
Recall.
Ancestral Recall, there
That's
it
what
is.
it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's
oh yeah. That you said that is that banned?
I believe it's at 1 in Vintage.
So restricted.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's any banned cards in Vintage.
I don't think so. I think you're right.
Probably like the really crazy ones like Charizard.
Yeah.
To play a sub game.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, that one's banned in like every single format.
In every format, yeah. So okay. Yeah, it's a cool looking card, but again, for me not knowing much about Yu-Gi-Oh, that's very interesting. Like I learned quite a lot when Jim was talking about Pot of Greed. I was like, very interesting. So again, that also for me brings me to what I enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean? Like,
Dan, you're a combo player. You'd like Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's true. Totally true. Absolutely.
You'd be like, what do you mean I don't got a pay cost? I can just go off.
That's why I love Pokemon. It's like the deck I'm playing in Pokemon. The deck I'm playing in Pokemon is just like, I do this, then I do this. All right, let me find this, get that out. All right, so bench. And let me get this, bench. Okay, turn 1, I got a full bench. All right, kill, you're dead.
Well, you went first. You don't get to attack. Go to my turn.
No. That's when I go second because you never choose to go first.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't understand why people are choosing to go first. I don't get it. I'm playing Pokemon. Like I play Pokemon TCG online, and like I'm like, all right, I lose the flip. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go first. And then they're like, all right, opponent goes first. I'm like, what? I'm playing standard. Okay, so I'm playing Mew Genesect, which if you play Pokemon, yes, you know what deck I'm talking about. And if my opponent has one active Pokemon and I go second, I'm like, dude, I can kill you.
You're dead.
I'm like, I can kill you if I draw one Pokemon and then I draw into Battle VIP Pass.
Yep.
Dude, I'm gonna have a full bench.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I enjoy Pokemon. Yeah, so I'm interested.
It's a crazy game.
Very interested to check out Yu-Gi-Oh. So